Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. You know where we're at, which means you know we got a book haul coming today. I always sit in this room to film my book hauls because this is where I have all my books, my little like libraries in here. So this is where we do all the book hauls. We do a lot of book hauls on my channel. If you're new, definitely subscribe because we talk about books a lot. There's just a lot of book related content, hauls. We like to talk about books on Instagram. I like to talk about books as well, so you can definitely follow me on Instagram. I always have it linked down below. You can follow me on Goodreads. It's also Shannon.Anderson. I'm just like the biggest book nerd, bookworm ever. So I love talking about all things books, hauling books, buying books, reading books, of course, all the things. So today we have another book haul, and today's just a tiny bit different because today is exclusively or like specifically used books. I do buy a lot of used books. I love buying used books. Used bookstores are kind of like heaven for me. I love used books, and I think it's so cool that like one of my favorite things in the world can easily be purchased secondhand, and it's the exact same experience as paying full price and buying it brand new. But I do have definitely book hauls on my channel that are from like bookstores, like from Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. I buy new books as well, but this is all used books, so I thought that was kind of a cool like different way to spin my typical book hauls, is to do all used books. It's a big range of all the things, and I do always link every single book that I mentioned down in the description box as well for y'all to check out if you're interested. So without further ado, let's start talking about all these books. There's a lot here as per usual. I can never stop buying books. My book hauls are always pretty lengthy. There's a lot here, so we need to get started. So I finally just got the like final order that I was waiting on for this haul, so I'm gonna start with those because I'm just so super excited. The first one is called The Glass Hotel. One of the like bookstagrammers that I follow on Instagram, she just kept saying over and over and over that this was her favorite book of last year, and I remember hearing about this book somewhere or from someone, and it was definitely on my want to read list. But then she did like a question and answer kind of thing or something, and I feel like she mentioned this book like a million times. I typically trust the opinion of people that like read for a living basically, and I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to books. I'm not like crazy picky. I just love a good story, whether it's a thriller, like thriller and suspense is definitely like my preferred genre, but I love any kind of books. I'm getting more comfortable with like historical fiction. I like the thrillers, the suspense, the death, grief, and sorrow. I like just like the feel-good stories. I like it all. Romance even. I don't read a lot of romance, but I'm down for that. So I like to just kind of try out whatever people that do a lot of reading suggest, and I couldn't believe how much she harped on this one, so I was really excited to pick it up, and I was even more excited when it arrived because y'all know, if you've seen my other book hauls, I am obsessed with the books with like these textured kind of uneven pages. I can't tell you what it is about that I love so much, but if I see a book like at a bookstore that has that, I'm a lot bit more inclined to purchase it. But when you're buying them used online, which is what I do a lot of the time, I also do buy used books in person, of course. When you buy them used online, there's no way to know that they're gonna have that, like there's no pictures. So I was very excited to see that, and I can't wait to read this. Let me know down below any of the books that I mentioned if y'all have read them. Don't like spoil anything obviously, but let me know if you've read any of these, how much you love them, which were your favorites, which ones do you have on your list, all the things. I just like talking to y'all in the comments about books. The next one I'm really excited about. It's called The Murder List. For some reason the aesthetic of this book I really like. At first I love this. This is like my favorite color, blue. I love paperbacks. Y'all know also, if you watch my book hauls, paperbacks are my favorite. Like if I could get all my books in paperbacks, I would. This one's obviously a hardcover, but I'm really excited about this book. I just like stumbled upon it. It wasn't on my want to read list or anything, but I stumbled upon it in store one time, and I looked it up on Goodreads, and it had pretty good reviews, so I put it on my list and eventually ended up purchasing it online. It says it's a best-selling and award-winning author, and there's a review on here by AJ Finn saying it's exciting, explosive, relentless, and likely to leave you gasping. So I typically don't read the backs of my books very much, and sometimes if I do, I like don't remember them, or I purposely don't remember them because I don't like to spoil the surprise of the story. So I don't always know what books are about, but I mean, if I like a suspense like thriller novel, you can just tell by the title I'm gonna like this. I'm also curious, do y'all buy your books like all brand new? Do you do all used books? Do you do like a little bit of both? Do you go to the library? Like how do you get your books? That's something I'm definitely curious about. Do you do like a little mix of both? I'm just curious how y'all do your reading. Do you do them on like a Kindle or an e-reader? Do you do audiobooks? Let me know like your sourcing of your books. I would love to know like the different variations of like types of reading and different types of books you get. So let me know, and if you do get them online, let me know what your favorite websites are to get books as well. I always need new suggestions for that. This book I'm also really excited about. You know, Elin Hildebrand is my girl. I have so many books by her back there, and I just finished reading one by her not too long ago, and I really like her writing. This book seemed really interesting. The main reason I wanted to pick this up is because when I saw this in store at one point, I read the back. Sorry if you can hear the garage door closing. My husband husband was outside. But one of the characters in this book was doing in vitro fertilization, IVF, and recently got pregnant. So I just know one of the characters in this book had done IVF and was like experiencing her first like successful pregnancy from it. And obviously, as y'all probably know if you watch any of my other videos, if you're just here for the book content, that you might not know, but my husband and I are doing IVF and have done IVF, and we've been going through the process of all the assisted fertilization for a while. So it's kind of unique to have that as like a focal part of story. Like you don't really hear that a lot in like just regular traditional fiction. I feel like, at least I don't. If y'all know books about that, like just kind of where characters are going through that in a fictional novel, let me know. I would love to read those. But when I saw that one of the characters was going through that, I thought this would be really interesting to read. So I decided, kind of regardless of what the rest of the story is about, I just kind of wanted to read this for that reason. Plus I love her as an author, so I know I'm gonna like it. Next up, I got this book called Homegoing by Gayasi. This I feel like was again one of those like super crazy highly rated books that like everybody was really loving. It got great reviews. It's definitely not obviously a thriller novel. It's more of, I think, like a memoir or something like that, or something maybe a fictional, but like that type of book. It's kind of a cultural novel. I know it's based in Ghana, so it's definitely gonna be something different for me. I don't read a lot of books like that, but I feel like these are the types of books that like have a really big impact on you, just like the story, and can just really like make you think, because a lot of times these stories are about things like you never have or would experience. So I'm really interested in books like that. So I'm really excited. It's not a very big book at all, honestly. Probably a year or two ago, I would never have even considered a book like this, but when a book just gets such rave reviews and it's something completely different than I normally would read, I think it's important to branch out and try different genres, because you honestly never know what you might stumble into and absolutely love. Next up, I am so excited for this. One of my girlfriends here, she told me this was like one of her most favorite like books. Like she just recently read it and she was freaking out saying I have to read it. And it was on my want to read list. I've heard of this book and I have been wanting to grab it, but I feel like everyone that reads this book again is a really crazy about it. It's an Oprah book club book. I don't know anything honestly about it. I think I read like the summary one time, but I don't know anything about it. It's got like a lot of maps all up in it, and I think this is again more of like a real life story. I don't think it's a thriller mystery type novel as far as I know. I don't want to spoil it for myself, but let me know. I know so many people have read this and love this, so let me know if y'all have read this and how you feel about it. I'm just really excited, and I honestly think it's very aesthetic. I like the look of it. It has like the barbed wire all around it, and I just like the color and the whole aesthetic. So yeah, I have really high hopes for that one. This one I mostly got actually because my girlfriend, who is a really big bookworm like me, who recommended this book, her name is Alice. So I saw this book one time and I was like, oh my gosh, you obviously need to read this. And then I read a little bit about it, or I saw the reviews when I stumbled upon it, and I was like, wait, I actually think that's something I would like. So I ended up purchasing it. It's kind of giving me, at least from what I know about it, I think it's gonna be similar to like The Nightingale in the sense of, I think it's like a historical fiction. I think I don't know exactly what her role is, but it's definitely set in the past, which again, if you would have asked me like a year or 2 years ago if I would be reading historical fiction, I would say heck no. I don't really like typically books set in the past or even movies set in the past. I like more up-to-date like modern stuff, but I am like getting more into it. Like The Nightingale is probably one of my, you know, Where the Crawdads Sing, like those kind of novels. They kind of piqued my interest, so I'm definitely open-minded to it. And again, I was very excited. Not only is this paperback, which is amazing, but it has the really cool textured pages, which I love. I feel like it's kind of unusual to have a paperback with that texture. Usually it's the hardcovers. So when this arrived, again, because it's used, I didn't know I had that. I was so dang excited, and I cannot wait to read it. I feel like I haven't heard a ton about it, but what I have read was really good. I also just love, like, look at the font in there. I don't know, it's just kind of cute and different. This next book, this is called Three Women by Lisa Taddeo. I feel like this book has been not like controversial, but I think it's gotten like very mixed reviews. As far as I know, it's just like a kind of a, I think it's a true story, and it's kind of almost like a documentary, but in like a book form, obviously. And I believe a woman kind of goes through and interviews, or kind of follows around, or kind of shadows, lives in the life of three different women. I think like one of them is a stripper or like a prostitute. Like I think there's definitely some racy stuff in here, but I think it kind of highlights just the life of a woman and like the different lives we lead, and how different women navigate different circumstances and make money and go about making decisions. And like I think it's just kind of a discovery on that. as far as I understand. Again, I haven't read the back about this a lot, but I think it's kind of a feminist-ish type concept. But I'm really interested. I think it got like some really great reviews and then some not so great reviews, which books like this, you know, can definitely tend to do that. So I'm mostly just really curious what this book is about, what it has in it, just because it's been a little bit kind of like debated. I think that's what's intriguing me and like really piquing my interest. Plus, I just love the cover. Like, I feel like it's just so simple and to the point. There's something about the simplicity of this that really like also draws me in. I definitely judge a book by its cover. Let me know if y'all are like that too. Like, a book cover definitely matters. I know they say don't do that, but I have to. It does have the textured pages. I swear I'll go like hauls and hauls and hauls without any textured page books. And then in this haul already we've had like 3 or 4 or something. So yeah, I'm obsessed with that. I'm on a roll with those. Next up, yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I have one more that has the textured pages. So that's like 3 in a row. Plus there was the one other. So I'm a happy girl right now. This is a smallish book. I feel like this is called Wild Game, My Mother, Her Lover, and Me. So I saw this on Book of the Month, I believe, and there's something about, it's about a daughter and her mother has like a boyfriend or a lover, and I think the mom realizes that she needs to like get away from him, so she takes the daughter and they like escape, something like that. I could be completely wrong, but that's like the general kind of concept of what this is about. And I just like, again, that storyline just kind of intrigued me, and it's a little bit something different than my typical like suspense and thriller novel. I like to shake it up a little bit. And this is, I didn't realize this was actually like kind of a small book. There's definitely not a lot of pages to this. Yeah, it's just over 200. But I am really interested. I feel like it's going to be something kind of different, and the fact that it has these pages makes me so happy. Next up, this is a book by Jennifer Weiner, Then Came You. Jennifer Weiner, I feel like, or Weiner, I'm not sure how you say this. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I feel like she also kind of blew up over the last like year or two, and I've heard like nothing but good things about her. I have Mrs. Everything and Big Summer. Was that the other one that she wrote? I feel like she has a ton of books. She honestly has way more books than I even realized, and I feel like people really like them. And again, this kind of intrigued me. You can probably tell in Then Came You, and there's like a little baby toy. You can kind of tell what this is about. But I think it's about like a fertility struggle. Either there's like a surrogate or something like that. And obviously if you've gone through infertility and stuff, things like that just kind of intrigue you. And it's always interesting to hear other people, even though it's fictional. It's just always interesting to hear other stories, other perspectives, other ways of going about it. So that's kind of what drew me to this. It says it's an unexpected love story. One of the biggest names in popular fiction. That's true. So that kind of intrigued me about this. And I just feel like she's a really great writer. So I decided to pick this up. It had pretty good reviews online as well. Next up, I grabbed Something Borrowed by Emily Griffin. She's a New York Times bestselling author as well. This cover totally drew me in. It's just like this really pretty pink, and then obviously it has the ring on it. It kind of, there you go, you can see it's a little bit reflective. Just the aesthetic of this was really cute. I think this has something to do, I think like the best friend of the like main character like runs off with her fiance or like something like that. Am I totally making that up? I'm not gonna like reread the back, but typically either I'll know what the books are generally about, or I did read the back of the book when I was shopping for it, so I kind of have an idea. I think it's something like that. I could be completely wrong. So again, just kind of like more traditional like story, life story, feel good story, maybe depending on how it ends. And I feel like sometimes I just need like a good normal story, nothing about anyone dying, just kind of something easy and light. And that's, I feel like, the kind of book this is. I feel like these kind of books are really good in the spring and summer when you're laying outside in the sun by the pool on vacation. These are the kind of books that you want to read. And it says it's a major motion picture now. Whenever I find that out about my books, I'm always like, oh, okay, like that really makes me want to read it, because I love the idea of reading a book and then being able to see it come to life in a movie and see what the characters look like and how they kind of like change things up in the movie to switch up how things actually went down in the book and all that kind of stuff. So when I saw that it was a movie, I was even more excited. I haven't heard of this movie though. I'm literally was thinking about it, and I've never heard of this movie, so I don't know if it was very good or very popular. But regardless, after I read a book, if there's a movie about it, I will watch it. I will go over it like the whole time, like with my husband, and pause like, it didn't happen like that in the book, or like, oh, I didn't like think she looked like that, or like, I don't know. That's like the fun part of being like a bookworm, I feel like. But the book is always better than the movie. True or true, is the book not always better than the movie? It always is. Next up, we have the Glittering Hour. This is a big old book. When I picked this up, I could not believe how large this was. This is about 500 pages. It is so pretty. I love like the font. I love the glitter on it. As you can see, this was a book of the month book. I got this used, obviously. It has like glitter all over it. It's just so pretty, and this is in amazing condition. Like the cover, the book sleeve is in a really, really, really good condition. The pages, like this honestly looks like it was barely read. I love when I can get my books and they don't look used at all. Like, I'm excited. I love like really fat books, even though I obviously, that's the only thing about book of the month. I wish they weren't all hardcover. I wish you had the option to do hardcover or softcover with your book of the month subscription. That's something that they need to do. Yeah, I really don't honestly know much about what this is about at all, but I feel like it had good reviews. Oh, I think it's about like a socialite, kind of like a spoiled like rich girl, and then she like goes off into the real world, and I think that's like the general plot. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's the idea. All right, we are getting close to the end. Next up, I have two books that go hand in hand, and we've actually talked about this author already. I read the first book in this series. This is a series. The first one is Winter in Paradise, and then I believe the second one is Trouble in Paradise, and then the third is What Happens in Paradise, I believe. Could be the other way around. I have to like triple check. But I finished that book, and I had already purchased one of these, but it was the third one, and I didn't have the second one yet, so I wanted to read all three of them in a row, but I couldn't. I just had to start another book while I waited for the second one to come in. So now I have all three of them, so I need to like jump back into the series now, because that was one of my New Year's resolutions. I wanted to read a series. I really want to finish the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series, but that's kind of a commitment, so I feel like if I can finish these two, which obviously I will have technically accomplished that goal. But I really liked the first book. I don't feel like it was like insanely well written for Aylin Hildebrand. Like, I feel like she has books that are a little bit better, but I liked the storyline, and it's kind of interesting because it's sort of like a mystery suspense novel, but not your traditional one. Like, it's not all about like a death or like an investigation, but it is about an investigation. I don't know, it's kind of lighthearted, but also like keeps you on the edge of your seat, and you don't know what to expect, and there's a lot of like plot twists, so it's kind of a lighthearted but still kind of like what's gonna happen kind of story, and that's what I really liked about it. Plus the covers are just so pretty. Like, these definitely make you think of like summer and beach reads. They're just really, really pretty. This one was definitely like a library book. I feel like it has, again, all the like barcodes on it. But I'm excited to finish this series. There's only 3 books in this series, so I feel like that's kind of a nice, good, like manageable length. Plus look at the like bindings of these. I feel like when you have these on your bookshelf, they're just so pretty because they're so bright. Oh, I have another Jennifer Weiner book. I feel like this is one of her older prints, because I feel like ever since she got a little bit more popular, she changed all of her like titles to have this or like a similar font to this. So I think this is like an older print of hers, and obviously one of her older books. And originally I wasn't gonna pick this up because, I mean, it did nothing really about it drew me in. It's just called Best Friends Forever. It's not that interesting of a title. It's not that interesting of like a cover. Nothing about it really drew me in. But then I looked it up on Goodreads, and I'm pretty sure it had some good reviews, and the story sounded interesting. At this point, I cannot remember what it's about. I kind of want to say it's about someone, like these 2 girls that were friends when they were younger, and then like one of them moves away and then comes back. Or maybe the one girl is like really not popular, and she moves like to a new area, and the popular girl like becomes her friend, and then they stay friends forever. Something like that. I could just be like pulling ideas honestly from like another random book that I read the back of. I have no idea. I can't like refresh myself. I think it's something like that. For some reason I have a pretty good memory. Like, I'll remember the general concept, but it just looks kind of interesting. Definitely kind of like a small town novel, something of that sort. Again, this could be just like a really lighthearted, easy read. Only 2 more. We're almost on the home stretch. I feel like we've been here for a while. Next up, I feel like these 2 I bought a hot minute ago, so I really don't feel like I remember anything about these ones. This one's called Before I Go. Oh, I do remember what this is about. And this is either going to be really like interesting or like really depressing, but it's definitely about a woman that's like dying, like she has a terminal illness, or like she knows that she only has a certain amount of time left. So it's just like, maybe it's cancer or something, and I think it's just about like how she handles that, what she like does or wants to do before she dies. Maybe it's about her husband and like kind of getting her husband ready to like live without her, like teaching him how to like cook, and like maybe even like helping him meet another woman so that he's not alone when she dies. It's something like that. So I feel like part of it sounds really interesting, because like those are the stories that intrigue me when I'm like, that could be a real life circumstance, and what would you do? Like, how would that play out? So like, there are obviously people in the real world that know that they don't have a lot of time left, and it's like, how do you handle that? What's your game plan? What do you do? And I think this is kind of like that. And I'm pretty sure it's a younger person. It's not like an old woman, like a 90-year-old. I'm pretty sure it's like a younger woman. So she kind of has to like get her, like tie up her loose ends in a way. So again, like this could be really interesting, and I think it will be really interesting, but I feel like it would also be kind of depressing because it's just all about like waiting for someone to die. And I don't really like death, like that whole, I don't know, it freaks me out. I don't really like thinking about or talking about that. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this, but I am intrigued by the concept, so I'm definitely gonna give it a go, and I'm kind of excited but also wary. And then last but not least, how pretty is this cover? It's called We Could Be Beautiful by Swan Huntley. That's a cool name, Swan Huntley. I wonder if that's their real name or if that's like a pen name or something. But look how pretty. It's obviously got this woman on it. It's really, really reflective. I don't feel like I remember what this is about. Like I said, I bought these forever ago, but the first line, it's just a review back here by Dennis Lehane. It just says, We Could Be Beautiful is a sexy psychological thriller about wealth and class. That sounds good to me. Like I said, I love psychological thrillers and books that just like keep you on your toes and keep you guessing and you have no idea what's gonna happen next. And it says it's a sexy psychological thriller about wealth and class. So I don't know if there's gonna be some racy scenes in here or what. I think it's definitely about like this rich guy or the rich wife. Something like that. I don't know if someone dies. I really can't remember this one, but the idea of a sexy psychological thriller, that sounds good to me. So I'm definitely intrigued, and I honestly, like I said, I judge a book by its cover, and this is just real pretty. Y'all, this stack is like as tall as me. This is gonna tumble over. I need to be careful. This is a lot of books. This is like my second biggest book haul ever, and it's honestly a really close second. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry if it was super long. I just kind of, even though I don't know what the books are about, it's probably good that I don't know what the books are about, because if I did, I'd probably talk a lot about it and like give y'all the summary. So I'm kind of glad that I don't read a lot about them, so I don't talk as much, even though I still talk a lot. So I apologize if this was super long. I just enjoy chatting about books, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it too. Like I said, everything will be linked down below. Let's chat in the comments about all the things. Let me know all the questions that I asked, if you can even remember them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, would love to have you. We have so much fun here, and until next time, I will see y'all in our next video. Bye guys. Oh, my back hurts. I don't know how to take this thumbnail. Oh gosh, this is not safe. Ooh, this is not safe. Nope, I know it's not. Please don't fall, please don't fall. This is a Leaning Tower of Pisa. Ew, why does my hair look so gross? Alright, but I really need to fix my hair. Okay, well, we're gonna have to make that work.